Hello, this is Dr. Abraheim Weizfeld-Goldsheider Friedman, doing a translation of the interview with my mother from the Yiddish interview that I did with my mother in 1998. I guess this last interview, the sixth interview, was also conducted in 1998, rather late, Her voice is very weak. It's difficult to make out what she says sometimes. But here we go. And we may now continue with Cyrla Weisfeld, originally Cyrla Goldsheider-Friedman.
Okay, this is Sylvia Weisfeld-Goldsheider-Friedman.
Okay, now we're starting to speak. This is Sylvia Weisfeld who's going to be speaking.
Me, A.B. Weisfeld-Friedman.
And it is myself, A.B. Weisfeld, that is speaking.
That is the
She's saying she doesn't hear. So I say, oh, you don't hear?
Hello? 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 The haste?
Hello? Do you hear? I'll show you now that you can hear.
Yes?
Ja, es hat sich geredet etwas.
Ich habe es gemacht, besser.
Okay. Do you hear it now? She says, yes, I hear it now. You've made it better.
The haste jetzt? Ja. Der haste noch besser jetzt?
No, noch nicht wirklich.
Noch nicht?
Now, do you hear it even better? She says, no, not good enough yet.
Is that good?
No.
Jetzt ist besser?
Now is it better?
Jetzt ist besser, was ich höre.
Now it's better. I've heard it.
Ja.
Aber nachher davor ist das allein hier.
Okay.
But I hear your voice. You're right next to me.
Okay, jetzt hand is de 16e Oktober.
Ja.
Nog geschrieben de 10e is, niet de 10e.
It's the 16th of October.
Daar staat de 16e.
Dat is zo leuk. Is dat allemaal van me? Is dat voor je met dat?
Okay. Jetzt darf man reden von den Sachen, die das noch nicht geredet haben. Man hat nicht.
Now we have to speak about the things that you have not yet spoken about.
Nur allein von dir. Man hat von den anderen Daten, von der Family, von den Partisanen.
So we have to speak about the other members of the family and the partisans.
Was man weiß nicht. Du darfst mir suchen alle die Sachen, was du gedenkst jetzt, und du darfst sagen.
And we need to talk about all the things that I don't know about, and that you know about.
Gedenken, ze reden von allen mit die als vernimmt sich mit von den jüdischen Partisanen.
And all the information that you have about working with the Jewish partisans.
Ja. Ach, der Mann, meiner Cousine, das Hofgeheißen Zesche.
I just remembered that my cousin also was named Sesha.
Zesche. En ik weet nog ook in Rusland, Antwerpen, met haar.
And she was also in Russia.
Dat soort maken, dus met geld. Dus we zijn zo dat we werden, dat betekent ze niet geld nog met man. Dus we zijn anders op een andere plaats reizen.
So she wasn't together with her husband yet, but she was in another place in Russia.
Had ze me dat geschreven, als ik vind mijn adres, had ze me geschreven, zal ik.
And So she sent me a letter. She found my address and she sent me a letter that I should come and meet up with her.
Had ze me geschreven, aber ich habe nicht gekannt, das verlassen.
And so she wrote me, but I wasn't able to follow through.
Habe nicht gekannt schreiben, habe nicht gekannt schreiben.
I couldn't buy anything. I couldn't go anywhere.
Es ist nicht gefahren.
And so I went nowhere.
In dem Schreiben hat mir schon nicht gekannt reden.
And after that letter, we couldn't speak anymore.
Und wie hat sie geschrieben?
From where was she writing the letter?
Von Russland, aber ich denke nicht, von welchen Gegend.
In Liebesgedenkschaft?
I don't remember from which neighborhood she lived in.
In Russland?
Ja, aber da auch in Russland.
Oh.
Yes, and she was also in Russia.
Ich bin gewesen, ja.
Sie nennen es gewesen Sasha?
Ja, ja.
And her name was Sasha.
Goldsheider?
Nein, sie gewesen, yes, Cyrla Goldsheider, I was a person in that.
And her name was Sylvia Goldsheider. And my mother replied, no, that was her name before she got married.
My father had a
Ja.
aber danach hat sie auch einen Mann so.
Das ist
But afterwards, she took her man's name.
gewesen.
Weiß auch nicht.
And his name, she doesn't remember.
Sie den ganzen Monat Vater über. Keine Kasse.
Or she didn't know her husband's name. Anyway, she said that it was a small wedding in Russia.
So, was hatten getan die jüdische Partisanen dort? Wie
So what did the Jewish partisans do there? And
ist es gekommen mit der kommunistischen Partei? Hat die kommunistische Partei gelassen, die jüdische Partisanen zu tun, da zu halten, die Meetingen?
and what did they do together with the communists? Did the Communist Party, what did they do to the Jewish Bund? Did they let them have meetings?
Ich weiß nicht.
I don't know.
So hatten gar keine Meetingen?
They never had any meetings?
No, in Russian, we think.
Ja.
Oh, what's coming in jail?
And she said, what, meetings? No, you can't have meetings. You would have gone to jail.
Op een dag losgegaan van een andere country.
Hat nicht gehalten, keine jüdische Meetingen?
Nein, dat is gewoon. Ja, maar je gaat eines in ander.
No, and then I asked, didn't you have any Jewish meetings or Yiddish meetings? And she said, no, we spoke with one another.
Ja, bis op Jiddisch.
Ja.
In de Polische und ich meine, haben sie auch dabei говорить по-русски. Ja, wir reden Russian. Haben wir wissen, was du redest.
And when they were around the other Polish people, they were told that they should speak in Warsaw in Polish and not in Yiddish because the others could not understand.
Ja. Dus ik ben de communisten, dus ik gered zijn.
Arbeiters.
So I asked her, was it the communists who spoke like that? And she said, workers.
Arbeiters.
Ja.
En dus hadden ze gezegd van die Jiden.
And what did they say about the Jews, about the Jewish people?
Nicht spannend, aber ja.
Waarheid?
Nein, nicht gerecht.
And so I said that did they criticize or insult Jewish people? And she said, no, they never said anything.
Ze wist nog als de geteen, wie zei dat ze
So what else did you do there? So you escaped
Ihre Schwester.
with you escaped with your sister.
Die Schwester beging nog heilig naar die verrassing.
Das ist die Frage. Bis
Sie
wie
do-
bist du gegangen?
So she took her sister to Gifraschen. And I said, well, what's that? What's Gifraschen?
Magdeburgs, Ural.
Oh, Euros.
Ja.
Sie geriet noch einmal was, da steht.
Oh, Gloschen. That's, no. Zlotin. I think she was saying Zlotin, which is the Polish money.
Madrigas?
Magnetogors.
Magnegors?
Ja, Magnetogors.
Magnetogors?
Magnetogors. Togors.
Magnetegors?
Yeah.
That's where she had gone to. Evidently, it's the name of the city or something.
Und was hat denn jeden gerät von der Regierung dort?
And what did the Jewish people say about the regime there?
Wat je kent redden, wat je gaat wensen redden.
We couldn't speak. We didn't have time to speak about such things.
Maar je weet verhouden werd, ja, een beetje veel. En met gewoond op zijn zitje.
So we worked and we lived in Savajitska.
Dus.
6 bedden in een room.
So I said, what's that? And she says, oh, that's where you have 6 beds in a room.
We in een hospital. Een bed.
In a hospital.
3 maanden.
Ja.
Zo, ja.
In the first times at the beginning of their refuge in Russia. That's how they lived.
So, was hat denn jüdische Bundisten getan?
So what did Jewish Bundists do?
Sind sie reingegangen in die kommunistische Partei?
Did they go into the Communist Party?
Nee,
No.
die communisten hebben niet gewild met de partij.
So the communists didn't want to have any relations with the Jewish Party. She calls the Bund the Jewish Party. Of course.
Zijn we gemeint, de Polische communisten hebben niet gegeven de Russische communisten.
And the Polish communists didn't like that we were in a Jewish section.
Het is een andere communisme.
It's another communism. And so they didn't like it.
Dat is geweest.
It wasn't a follow through. It was another communism that was different from the one before. They were leftists.
Das ist wichtig. Sehr wichtig, das.
And I say, this is very important, you know, is very important. And she says, yeah.
Ja, darfst
She says she doesn't have the strength.
nicht schleifen. Du darfst noch reden ein bisschen.
So I say, don't speak quickly, just, you know, speak slowly and take it easy.
Aber die jüdische Bundisten, was hatten sie getan?
And the Yiddish Bundists, what did they do?
Du weißt nicht.
You don't know? She says, I don't remember.
Sind nicht gewählte Bundisten?
Ich bin nicht gewählt. Ich bin nicht in der Partei.
I wasn't in the party.
In die Bundestische? Die
Ich bin in Parteiische. Ich arbeite nach Geschäft.
I was in the Parteiische, which means the affiliate to the party, which was the union. She worked in as a clerk in a store.
Union. Ja.
I was a young one. Yes.
Maar je wilt zo raising the wages.
Ja.
And we wanted to raise the wages. when she went on strike with the Bund union. And from what I remember, she went on strike against her Jewish employer. Like the Jewish, economy was made up of small boutiques and small workshops. And she worked in a small shop as a clerk. And on the day of the strike, the general strike for raising wages, she went into to work actually because she liked her boss. And her boss told her, what are you doing, coming to work? You're supposed to be on strike. Probably the boss was a Bundist as well. So she learned at that young age, how to be active.
Yeah.
And she said that her boss had told her that when there's a strike, you have to follow it. Others lost their jobs, but I didn't lose my job. So her boss said that she was being in a good way. That is with the strike,
Dus ik heb de nummer van de union.
What was the name of your union? I can't remember. Different men, different people, all together. Didn't have, any extra name, any special name. So Tsesha, her cousin, she got out of Russia earlier in 1945. With a friend. Educated people. Oh, not the cousin Wajsfeld, the artistic woman that I mentioned in the previous video. This is another cousin, Tsesha. The communist cousin was Wanda Weslovska or Weslovsky. Now we're talking about Tsesha.
Tsesha, die was genoemd.
Oh, no, de andere cousinke.
Ja, de andere cousinke van Russia.
Ja.
Ja. En of geheeld, niet familie. En zo omgekomen in the States.
So I heard about her and she made it into the United States. Where she had a daughter. So she came to Wetzlar, and there was a big office, for the people who were coming in to the refugee camp. So she went there to the office to see if she could find any people that she knew. So I only found her, Tsesha, the cousin Tsesha.
Ja, und man hat gesucht, sei frei. Und man gesucht, dass sie umgekommen früher und ich habe mal ausgelassen für 40 Jahre.
So her other friends had come earlier than her, and others were not allowed to leave the leave the USSR. So I was able to leave the USSR in in 46.
Was het gedien in dem Dus dat gedien.
And what did you do in the refugee camp? So I used to carry heavy things to the oven.
Was is dat chapis?
Eigenlijk zeker hout van bomen.
Ja.
Oh, she would be carrying wood, to make a fire to cook with.
Ik doe große stukjes en nog een woord.
Big pieces of wood.
Grondige.
Ja.
Logs, in effect, round pieces of wood.
Aber gedoe versleppen ze naar oven.
So I had to carry them to the oven.
Dan hebben ze nog aanleggen.
Ze bruin?
And to put them into the oven.
Ze bruinen, ja, ze nog.
To burn.
De heat had wel 50 volt.
Dus gewin in de country of in de city?
And this refugee camp, was it in the country or in the city? And she said, it's not in the city, no. Next to a small city.
Nemen als de gearbeitet, de jiddische, de Russische.
So with whom did you work? With Jewish people or Russians? Different people.
Was hat eine Polische gesagt von der russischen Kommunisten?
And what did the Polish people say about the Russian communists?
Und was hat der russische gesagt von der polnischen Kommunisten?
And what did the Russian communists say about the Polish communists?
Was hatten sie nicht geklagt miteinander?
Did they not like one another?
De Russische Kommunisten hadden dus op een zaal gezet in jail.
Russian communists were put into jail
The government.
Eingezet.
by the government.
Twee, de Russische, de Polische.
Nee, de Russische.
And so I said, which government was putting the Russian communists into jail? The Polish or the Russian? And she replies, the Russian.
Zij zijn gemeen gewoond hier, zou ik zeggen. De Polische hebben dus niet gegeven. Want ze hebben niet gehouden van ze.
Ah ja.
Difficult. And so the Polish communists were not in agreement.
Was hatten der russische gesagt von der polnische? Sie sind eine trotzkistische.
So what did the Russians say about the Polish communists? Did they accuse them of being Trotskyists?
Hatten die gehört von trotzkistische?
Did anybody talk about Trotskyists or Trotskyist politics?
Politik?
Had ik gehoord ben ze redden geweest als gemoedje vandaan weet wat
We never had time to talk, we were too tired, after work to talk.
ik heel wonderful. En dat werd ik abraheim werd ik dat tegen ze redden geweest en wat ze leven het zo was.
There were a lot of troubles, and there wasn't really anybody to speak with.
Misschien is het eigenlijk niet organiseren, was je goed, dat je mag een beetje lessen.
We were just looking for, pieces of food in order to make something to eat with.
Was die gewusst haben, sie was ist gewesen reingesetzt?
Did you know anybody who was imprisoned?
Ja, ja, dan
Giel, my father, he was put into prison. She knew about that. That'll come in the translation of the interviews that I'll be doing with my father later on. But my father he was put into prison because he missed a day of work. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you the story. My father had a sore foot. He went to a doctor, and the doctor said, look, if you could come to see a doctor, then you could have gone to work. And therefore, the doctor said that he couldn't give him a letter of exemption because work was compulsory. All workers were conscripted. This was following from the plan put out in the Civil War of 1918, when Trotsky wrote a book called The New Course, in which he called for the militarization of labor, martial law. More than martial law, militarization, conscription of the whole working class. So my father had missed a day of work. When he came back to the workplace, the Jewish communist, who was the commissar, supposedly the head of the Soviet, except that there weren't any Soviets anymore, and no unions as well. While the West had unions, they didn't have unions. Okay, fine, worker state, So she had him arrested because he didn't have a note from the doctor, and he ended up being in prison for 6 months. And so instead of just losing just one day of work, he was off work for 180 days. And then he got acquitted by the judge finally when he got to court and exempted from compulsory labor thereafter. Okay. Oh. Go back to my mother.
Ja,
Dobrze, jest nie szefem.
sag's mal nach.
Ale kann
Yeah, so he was put into prison. Cyrla, my mother, says of my father. And I say for 6 months, huh?
später da, das war verschieden. Das ist schon verfallen, es ist kalt.
Nou, wat mir gesagt hat, es gibt einen krank auf
And it was very cold.
der Fies. Es gibt ganz ein Doktor. Und der Doktor hat mir gesagt, geht er nicht gehen, eine Letter geschrieben. Sie sagen etwas, der ist krank, ist er zurück die ganze Arbeit, hat uns gesagt, hat verloren, hat gearbeitet.
So I was saying, this is when my father had a sore foot and he went to a doctor, and the doctor refused to give him a letter saying that he was exempted from work that day because of his illness.
Eingesetzt.
Ja,
And so they put him in prison.
ja, aber das heilt, denke
Ja,
ich.
ja, ja.
And my mother says, oh, so he told you.
Ganz schön.
Die hast du gewusst dort in Russland?
Nein,
So did you know him in Russia? Did you know my father in Russia? She says, no. She met him at the Wetzlar refugee camp.
auf dem Weg in der Train.
Ah, she met him on the way to Wetzlar on the train. Ah, I didn't know that. Well, I didn't remember that.
Das ist verkommen, mit Heschel in der Train.
Heschel?
Der Rede.
Oh,
And he was with his brother Heschel that he had saved as well. The one who was the cop in the Libling ghetto, actually.
ja, ja, ja. Wie sehr hast du bekannt?
Was soll ich sagen, in der Waggon.
We saw each other in the wagon.
Toen gehouden werden en is weer voor ons een lager.
And we went together to the same camp
Wetzlar,
in Wetzlar,
Deutschland.
Ja.
in Germany.
Onderhoud gegeben dort met geschickte größere Zessen.
There they sent food to eat.
Amerika auf die Gespitze. Amerika and Canada.
America and Canada sent food to the refugees in the camp of Wetzlar.
Gegeben, geschickt, gekennte Essen.
Ja.
They sent food so that we could eat.
Wasserfall, die Fischkes, ja.
So wird gerät.
With fish as well, I think.
Wird gerät was. Und die hast gerät mit dem ersten Mal.
So what did you talk about when you spoke with him the first time?
Nämlich, wie das Leben in Schweiz.
Wer
We talked about how the life was difficult.
hat gesagt?
Hat man nicht gesucht, muss man
What did he tell you? He didn't tell me anything. He spoke.
gerecht, was man vergessen, was sie ja tun, was sie nicht weiß, doch wir haben nach hinter Zeit.
Oh, he just talked about, what there was available, what there wasn't available. It wasn't a hungry time.
Wer hat gerät der erste?
Weil,
Who spoke first?
das weiß ich auch. Can I denken,
Can I remember him or me?
Hast du gehört in Jiddisch oder Russisch?
So did you speak in Yiddish or Russian?
Yiddish, and I don't
Yiddish.
Alles in gewesen Jiddisch?
We can read in Yiddish. We were able to speak in Yiddish.
Ah, ja.
Yes. Wat niet gesproken hij was. En dan ik dat ik had het hadden in de office. Zo, we gingen naar zijn.
They wouldn't let me go home. I went to the office and they gave me a sign.
Dat krijg je naar weg.
Ja.
Dus dat is nog te zijn. Dus hij is nog zo hij. En hij is nog goed om te gaan op de hij.
So they either didn't let us or it wasn't possible to go to our old homes in Warsaw, of course.
Ik vind niet voor die citizens niet. Ik hoor naar citizens.
Ja.
Dus voor
Now, I wasn't a citizen there. I was a citizen of Poland, which actually is not the case. You know, Poland refused to recognize the citizenship of my parents when I applied for my own Polish citizenship to be recognized. And they said no, that I wouldn't be recognized as a citizen because my parents weren't recognized as citizens, even though I had proven that they were born in Poland and came from Poland, according to various documents. Still wouldn't recognize that my parents were citizens of Poland. That's in the current government of Poland, which follows the Nuremberg laws, basically, you know, which remove the citizenship of the German Jewish population.
dat ja geschreven is geschreven. Dat is een gevoel in Shabbat. Ja, totaal.
So either we wrote or we didn't write, you know, I don't remember. We just kept on going.
Das ist schwer zu sagen.
So I say, yeah, that was a tough time.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a break time there. Now we're going to start again.
Erstmal?
Ja.
Gut. Het is Montag, de 18e van oktober
Ja.
1993.
So the 19th of October in 1993. Oh, so this is earlier than the last video. Yes, her voice is stronger in this video. Very good. Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
I was wondering if you were going to work today because you were up so late.
Yes, I left at 9:30. I started at 10 this morning.
Oh, so that was good.
Yeah, it was a good thing. A little rest.
Okay, I'm doing a recording in a video here. It'll take me another 30 minutes or so.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, I forgot to put the video on pause. Anyway, we continue.
Dus ik darf fragen, de Weisscheid, de gedenkst.
Well, I have to ask you, you remember already. You remember, don't you?
Die kleine Sachen, was andere Menschen wissen nicht.
That is that we want to talk about things that other people don't know about.
Wenn was man darf reden. Also wie die es gearbeitet hat in Russland.
From what we need to know, like, you know, what you worked at and how it was, you know, in Russia.
Wie hast du kriegen bezahlt für die Arbeit?
How much were you paid for your work?
Ich was
We were paid not a lot.
einmal im Monat.
Once a month.
Ja.
sie gewesen, nicht genug auf der Essen.
There was not enough to eat.
Ze hadden niet gegeten essen.
They didn't give you to eat, food to eat.
Dat is te lang gedaan
Wat is
kochen
er?
essen.
You had to buy your own food.
Ich gekannt kaufen für jede Sache zu
We couldn't find anything good to eat.
an Milch doch Brot. Aber das ist eine bessere Sache, nicht wenn ich kann tun.
So we would have some bread, but not anything better than that.
Mehr.
Dat is alleen gedaan kochen essen, oder ze hadden gegeten essen.
Did you have to buy your own food, or did they give you food to eat?
Was ist auch allein.
No, we had to buy it ourselves.
Kochen sich.
Cooking.
Ja.
Hoeveel schuhe in de tuk was er gearbeitet?
How many hours a day did you work?
Oh, mehr war schon.
More than 8 hours.
Maybe so 6 or 7.
Until about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening.
Van de vrij? Wat
Ja.
meint de vrij? De namen zeggen?
Amor lachte, aber
So I said, did you begin to work at 9 o'clock? And she said, sometimes 8 o'clock.
dürfen sein, in den Mai auf ein Feld, auf ein
We had to go from the Maya to a field.
auf Hagen.
Ja.
Und wir gegangen, da was frei.
Dus
So we had to get up before 8 to go out into the country.
schrik ik in 6.
Ja,
So he came back at 6 o'clock.
So dat meint
Charest, wenn ich gehe, von der Zeit.
is 19 schuhe tuk.
So you were doing 9, 10 hours a day.
Ja.
She says 8.
Hoeveel was ik dat zoet?
Wer kann mir denken?
So how much did you get paid?
Oké, maar hoeveel was als ik geen
Ich
kreeg?
krieg mehr zu essen.
Oh, dat is dat gegeten essen?
Ja, super, so, was wir gemacht haben, so ein Kessel, eine Armee.
So we didn't get paid much. She doesn't remember how much exactly, but they gave us some soup. They made soup, in a big pot, like for the army.
Ja. Wat ze hadden gegeten als soep. Hij dacht de tuk, dat is gearbeitet.
Ja,
So they gave you a soup during the day when you were working.
De oven dat ze lang gedaan kochen.
ja,
And in the evening, you had to cook for yourself. Yes? Yes.
ja.
En dat gaat genoeg geld te kochen essen voor de oven.
And you had enough money to buy food for the evening?
Es ist nicht gewesen genug.
There wasn't enough.
Gegessen muss man gehen.
So we ate what we could.
Was is geween? Was kerst was? Brood,
So what was there? What did you eat? Bread?
melk,
Milk?
Ja, Milch mit ein bisschen Potatoes und
Milk with a little bit of potato soup
Reis nachsaugen.
and other things.
Nicht Kabaschen essen.
dat is kitters.
Cabbage.
Cabbage.
With other things, not, special things, like cabbage. And
Ja, maar dat is kitter essen. Dat is de
I say, but this is healthy eating, isn't it?
beste essen.
Habe ich einmal gegessen
This was the best thing to eat.
von der Arbeit, wo ihr heim. Und da rausgerissen von der Ehe. Ja.
Ah,
So in the work, what we did was we pulled things out of the earth.
dat is goed, zeker goed, zo.
Ja,
Dat is de beste essen geweest.
ja.
So this is good. This is the best food that you could have eaten, the healthiest food.
Doen mensen essen vlees, dan gaan ze raar.
Here, people eat meat and junk,
Ze werden krank.
and they become sick.
Und das ist auch das nicht ganz.
Maar het is niet zo slecht. Ze hebben niet.
So she was trying to say that it was worse than in Toronto. And I say,
Bij het essen gaat het zo. Het is niet zo slecht.
So I said, to eat healthy food like that is not so bad.
Nou, met dat voeten de vrijheid. niet dus.
But what we need, is freedom as well as food.
Ja, het is veel
Maar het is
raar.
geen vrijheid.
Ja,
But you didn't have any freedom. And she said, yeah.
de rijden, de rocket snel warven.
We had to lift and we had to throw things fast. I guess passing things on to other people.
Als gaat de union?
Ja, wat hij doet.
So did you have a union in Russia, And she says, a union? No.
Een Sovjet?
Serieus.
Het is geen Rust.
Did you have a Soviet? She says, like she sort of backs off of that notion. And so I said, well, what is, Russian about it all?
Het is de communistische regering. Waarom is dat niet gaat geen union?
So that was a communist regime. How come you didn't have a union?
Als je schreef met 100 jaar, 80 jaar, schreef.
That was 50, 60 years ago. Who knows?
So, is het meeste Jiddische, dus dat die arbeidsmensen?
So it was mostly Jewish people who worked together there?
Ja,
Yeah.
vroeger geweest in de Jiddische, meestens Jiddische.
Wij zijn ze geweest die...
There was a few who weren't Jewish. Mostly they were Jewish, the workers.
Mensen zijn dus geweest Jiddisch.
Een beetje.
Heute?
There were some workers who were not Jewish. And she says, a little.
Mijn geboren vinden.
Aha. Dus hadden ze gearbeitet met die.
Those who were born there. And so I said, what did they have to do with the Jewish people?
Ze hadden niet gewoond pas aan gezeitje, aber Bundist. Also they got a key, so they got.
So one was a boss woman, a woman boss who had the keys.
Potatoes.
So sometimes she would give me potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Dann ich geschnitten und gemacht das wie cheesecake.
So we would bake the mashed potatoes into a cheesecake.
Da was ich immer.
Ah ja.
Also mal genaschtike.
Ja.
Ich habe das gewusst, so ein bisschen letzte Gewinner.
And on Sabbath, Shabbos, Saturday, we had some from a good person.
Ich habe gebracht noch Pschenice, reingeschnitten Waldentjes, gegangen betroffen.
Was is het?
So we had chenishke. I don't know what that is. I think it's potato peels. And we stole also.
Chinese.
Das macht der Freude.
That makes the bread. I guess she means yeast.
Clevers, men schiet es rein in die Mehl rein.
On the mill.
Ja,
Mill.
ja. Aber gebrannt habe ich so, das reingeschnitten in die Schier, in die Waldentjes.
So she's talking about work, where she would take some stuff from the mill for her personally. She stole from the mill in order to have enough food to eat, it seems, is what she was saying. Mill, some kind of, flour mill or something like that.
Oh yeah. Dat is gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
But you stole. He says, yeah.
Niet
Not all the time.
If something you if ze hadden gevonden dat die is gegaan met dus hadden ze
And if they found that you had stolen that little bit of food,
geteamd ze daar.
what would they do to you? And she says, oh, they never found out.
Als ik gedacht dat zo'n rent, wat is
Did you have to pay rent?
ze geween de leven, was
Where you lived, you know, did you have to pay rent? And she said, well, we didn't have any money.
ze wist hadden die de baboes gekregen daar, het eerst hadden gebouwd.
Nee, is dat geen aktuele. Ze mensen zo niet krijgen. Want ze moesten opstellen. Of nooit gelijk de weg toch was afvallen.
So I'm not sure who she's talking about, but somebody who was helping out, you know, other people.
Veel ze was. En als je ze bijna heet zat raket. Thailand dat je in de ijs en de winden.
There was ice in the window.
En ze bij een stand als ze wachten naar Paris. Een table. No, niet heavy. Van binnenbreedte.
So we made a cable of thin wood.
Ze werd zich
And that's what we used to sleep on.
neben Maas, daar zat de hond in de front.
And that was, you know, right beside the ice. And the ice, you know, would hang in the front.
En bij een krant was in de eerste zaak.
Dus die ging krank.
And then people would get sick. So I said, did you get sick?
Een beetje niet was haar.
I got a little sick, you know, not very much.
Anderen zijn geween krank.
And others were sick, and she said yes.
Geween naar hospital voor de mensen die zijn geween krank.
Was there a hospital for the people who got sick?
Vele, dat zei ik al, je bent naar de hospital. Ik ben je naar je moeder naar de hospital.
Cyrla, somebody was in the hospital, and then she's saying that she was in the hospital for a short time once.
Dat was.
En dat je gaat diarrhea.
And I said, for what? And she said, well, we had diarrhea.
Ja, op de jongen in de hospital. En dan moet je gaat het really pains and
So we were in pain.
Dat was een schil geween in de hospital.
Het is zo moeilijk, feest.
My father was in the hospital as well, but she doesn't know why.
En de dokter in de hospital had gezegd, keisje moet ik naar huis. Zoals vast was.
So when she was in the hospital, the doctor said that she was going back home the next day, but there was frost outside. So it was cold, and I didn't have a warm place to sleep.
Scholar moet ik mee. Tegen het aan mij. De dokter had gezegd. Tegen het aan mij, het aan mij.
Ja.
Ja, gaf het.
Ja. So is het mogelijk ongeveer.
So the doctor said something in Russian or something, and just saying that he hoped for the best.
Redden ze die en de andere? Apparaatnischke? Wie zou dat een apparaatnischke?
Ze geven me nou een liedje met z'n voelen. Je weet als de speakers.
Ja, we
So I said, were there any party officials who came to speak to you? Apparatchnika, apparatus people. And she said, yeah, there was, you know, some people who came to speak to us.
Ja,
Будет хорошо, сам
and they would say, "Oh, it's going to be good."
Dat was zo. Het is zo was.
Get the tourists.
And she's so she so she sort of describes it as the speaker sort of, you know, talking about good troubles or a good goodness in a troubled time.
Hadden ze gezegd, ze zijn
De gitaar met
gitaar.
Yeah, they came there to encourage them to work well. And that was the purpose of their coming, to speak to them.
Hadden ze gewild die zelfs hij noemt ze zijn een partij, van de partij.
So did they ask you to come and join the party?
Ze hadden niet gewild die zelfs een partij.
No. So they didn't want you to join the party?
Dus hadden ze gezegd van hadden hebben van de Joden.
And what did they say? What, did they speak about the Jewish people?
Hadden ze gezegd de Joden zijn good to leven daar in Rusland?
So did they say that it was good for Jewish people to live in Russia? Or did they say nothing about Jewish people? They didn't say anything special.
Je weet eigenlijk dat zoeken. Dan kan je nog wat is gebeurd. Wat gearbeitet heb afhangen. Je moet je gekend. Ook een kaboin fiets zijn.
So there was one who was working on a farm who didn't have a place to live.
Over 25 kilometer te acht.
And we would go 9 or 8 kilometers.
Nog gearbeitet ik wel venster snel.
In the darkness, quickly walking.
Je weet dat wegen. Als een shuttlebus.
And then there was a wagon, like a shuttle bus.
Met schild. En dort op je gesessen. En gedrummeld over de dag.
Oh yeah.
And we'd be taken together in Nembitsk and we'd stay there overnight.
Dat was een geile mens. Fantastisch. Dat is eigenlijk mooi.
With other people, and one time. And one time when I was coming home from work and I went to the bus. And it was dark and I couldn't tell what was going on. And I would go out to people to ask them where we were going in the middle of the night. Oh, there were a lot of troubles. Big troubles. And then I walked here and I walked there, and another time I became tired. And then I found the bus that we were supposed to go to, and I couldn't find it before because it was so dark.
Als je gezien hebt van de kreeg, is die geen Bundist of de airplanen.
So did you see any of the war? Did you see any bombs going off or any planes?
Nou ja, ook kapjes op de mensen maken. Drieven.
Ja.
Well, they took us to make holes, trenches for the soldiers.
Dus kan dat ook, de tanks.
And barricades to stop the tanks from being able to advance.
Ja,
to stop the Hitlerians from advancing.
Wie dagen is gemeente die Krippe?
And how deep were these trenches?
Je hebt gestanden gezocht, gehouden.
Oh, I had to stand in them, and I worked very hard.
Maar je niet meer wist dat je kinderen niet genomen wijs op gedaan.
They didn't take children for this work.
Een beetje kilometer.
So we would take a few kilometers, you know, we would make.
So, als je gezien wie ze gekomen de Duitse armee?
So did you see any of the German army coming?
Wat maar gemaakt.
No, no.
Alleen met dat dief.
No, we made a line with a deep trench.
Zo wisten kop, de mensen daar.
So as to allow the people to go into them.
Kijken. In mijn nachten gaan je naar huis schiffen. Heb ze een armee.
And in the night, we would go to sleep in the army.
Wij zijn in Mars, hoor. In de gewaarde oude koppen. Dan moet je aan het veen. Dat heb ik. De volgende eet.
So I was, in Yiddish, literally speaking, I was throwing earth and shoveling earth.
Met een shovel af. Die staan. Ze is geweest veel.
With a shovel, where I was standing.
De shovel, maar een wissel. Ja, maar dat was zo. Dat is echt meer 5 jaar of zo.
And there was a lot to throw out, to shovel out.
Ja, je moet ook. Dat was mij. Dat is zeker van die oude.
Zo, als de geheente, dan ze gekomen de armee, in de Turkische, als de geheente is geschehen hebben.
Ja.
So did you hear the army coming? Or did you hear anything? No.
Dat is je weg.
Hadden mensen geglaubt dat Rusland gaat gewinnen de Krieg?
Did people believe that Russia was going to win the war?
Hadden mensen gered dat gemeinen dat de Duitsers gaan komen?
Or did people think that the Germans were going to be coming?
Dat hadden de mensen gemeint.
What did the people think?
Ja. Je wist dat het Duitsland winnen.
Ja, hadden ze gemeint dat Duitsland gaat gewinnen? Ze hadden gemeint dat Duitsland gaat gewinnen?
Was dan Rusland?
So I asked 2 more times. So did people think that Russia was going to win the war?
Ja, ergens. Ze hadden gemeint dat Rusland gaat zijn hebben geraakt. Hebben genomen bij Duitsland?
Duitsland had toch niet gewinnen de ganze Krieg.
She says, in reply, she says, but Russia did not win the whole war. No, Russia lost 27 million people, which weakened Russia tremendously and was a contributing factor to the failure of the socialist revolution there.
Die namen nog geklapt.
Ja. Hadden mensen gemeint dat de Duitsers het aankomen nemen Moskou?
So people were clapped, and I said, "Well, what did people think that that Germany would overtake Russia and take occupy Moscow?"
Alle steden.
And other cities,
En nemen de ganze Rusland.
and take over all of Russia?
De gemeente dat Duitsland gaat gewinnen de Krieg.
Or did they believe that Russia was going to win the war?
No.
No.
Dat is niet gelukt.
they didn't allow. I don't know what that means. I think that means that people weren't allowed to express their opinion in that way. She's saying that she has a headache.
Wat is de nummer van die andere mensen met die als gearbeitet met?
What is the names of the other people that you worked with? Jewish names. Who remembers? You know. Weigele. There was one with her mother, a mother and a daughter. They lived there a little further away. Don't be concerned about these silly things like names.
Met afgedenken aan andere zaken, dat zijn de terugtekst.
To write things down. And then I replied that it's important to remember stuff because these are important facts.
Ja, en wat te gedenken wie zat gefundigd was.
Ja.
It's to think about how the war came to an end.
Mensen waren happy.
People were happy.
Want die ging linen.
We received linen. And we traveled to Vigance. And Chava, her sister, had a child with her husband Hersch. So we had linen with which to sew.
Yeah.
And that was in the refugee camp of Wetzlar.
Yeah. In wat je wist dan in de maand dat ze in 6 of 5.
And we were thinking that we were going to go back home in 6 months. And I went alone to the Chagla and didn't tell anybody. And to where you would travel back home.
Nachdem wir mal bis Warsaw gegangen, beiden zusammen nicht gegangen, da nachdem es Laden mit dem Kind, da tun da kleinen Stieg oder so in gegangen, also in der Basement mit der
So I went with, I guess, her sister Chava and the child, and they lived in a basement in which there was a dirt floor. So the first child there was Tova, a cousin of mine that lives in Beersheba, Tova Feinzelberg, who told me never to come to visit, never speak to her again because she's a Zionist. Okay.
Oh,
Herrschaft gesagt, bleiben wir, das führen mit Führen zusammen.
So Chava's husband, Hersh, the war criminal I told you about previously, he said that we should all travel together.
Ich dachte, man Dokumente haben die geschrieben in Vietnam.
And I replied, I need to have documents, written documents, and where would I get them?
Das ist cool.
We should go back home in Poland and Ukraine.
So wie ist es? Sie sind gegangen zu Israel und die sind gekommen zu Kanada.
Zij zijn hierin falsch.
So Chava and Hersh first went to Israel and then they came to Canada.
In unser Salon, der vermachte Waggonen, der Train, hat sich vorgestellt.
So when we were in the train stopped there. We stopped to look for family members. I heard that there was some heavy duty work, black work, she calls it, dirty work. To dig the earth.
Into the buildings, yeah.
Yeah.
A coppice. Yeah.
Zwie?
Yeah, Zwie.
Zwie or Hersh. No, Zwie. Zwie is not Hersh. Zwie is my father. Yeah.
Yes, Zwie.
Hersh.
Oh no, she meant Hersh. Yeah.
Also, wir gesessen, wir haben Bundist. Ein Chazaitje, ein bewusste, das Prinzessin, gewöhnt Maria, hat einen erkannten Mann.
So, Sesha, her sister, lived with a boss lady who had a husband who was ill.
Ich hatte mit Kindern, aber sie kamen zum der Salon gekommen, Menschen sind reingegangen, schon vorher, hat sie mal rausgebracht, tatsächlich zu Harris, in schwarzer Brühe.
So, when other people came, she brought her a bag, a sack, in which there was some black bread. For the voyage.
Yeah.
In the train. So the kind of work that we had was, went into a woods and I used to cut down trees. And splitting wood with an axe. And there was enough hard work.
Yeah. That's what we did. That's my master hands. So testing the
So they made food for us to eat on the way.
So wie lang bist du in Wetzlar?
So how long were you in the Wetzlar camp?
Wetzlar, in a year.
A year.
In the British weggefuhren, Minsk.
And a brother traveled to Minsk.
Dort hat seine Freund.
He had his friends there.
Welke Britten?
War the picture. Ja,
Oh, Deen?
ja,
Deen.
scheiner Mensch.
Maya? Nicht
Maya,
Maya.
ja, Maya, dat reist, Maya.
Maya?
Martina, ja, Maya.
Ik moest
And which brother was this? And I said, is it Meyer? And she looked at the picture. Yeah, Meyer. Yeah.
de Britten was die beginnen zu gehen zu Russland.
Ja, ja.
So this is the brother that helped you get into Russia?
Is geblieben bis Ende von
Ja.
dem Krieg.
Ja, ik weet een andere city. Gewesen in Minsk.
So Meyer, her brother, was in another city. He was in the city of Minsk.
Dort hat sein Girlfriend.
With his girlfriend in Ukraine.
Not,
Jüdische?
had a kind, ja.
And they had a child.
Kinderen van Warschau. Dat ja, alleen naar Feier in Warschau. Ze zitten in de luchtgejucht allemaal. Dat niet.
This was a child from Warsaw. And there was a fire, and they were chasing them all the time.
Begaan, van een scheine mens gewinnen. Als ik werk, is al niet dat je van nee. Want dan nog is er ja, veel goed nog hoor, als ik weet, vast.
And so there was another who was shorter than him.
So, is gewesen, is gewesen in Wetzlar,
Ja,
nog de Krieg met die,
Ja.
So Meyer was there in Wetzlar with you after the war? And she says, yeah.
ja,
is teruggegaan in Minsk.
nee, schon mit ihr. Sie ist umgekommen, hat sie gemolden
So did he go back to Minsk?
auf bei dem Начальство, also der Mann auf ihn, auf dem Brief. Er noch ein schlechter Mann hier. Aber seitdem wollte sie zusammen mit mir.
Ja.
Also mit der gegeben, Prepuskas und Zielführen.
So she wanted to be with her man, and so she went and traveled.
Nur haben sie schon immer gewollt, in so einem
And then they had a little dwelling there, and
geschrieben, dachte ich, in einer Jahre mehr gewollt.
and they had a child.
Was ist die Nummer gewesen?
Ich weiß nicht.
And what happened to him? I don't know.
Dann sei es nicht gewesen, du, sei es nicht gewesen, übergefahren, vermisst, wenn sie dich fand.
So they didn't make it to Minsk.
Minsk is in Ukraine. Minsk is in Ukraine.
Minsk, the Minsk in the Ukraine?
Weißrussland.
Oh, Weißrussland.
Weizfeld-Goldsheider, which may have become part of the Ukraine.
So this might is gebleiben leben.
Ja, aber den Huren hat geschrieben.
So that means that Meyer, remained alive. He was alive. And she replies, yes, but
Als geht in der Armee.
afterwards he wrote that he was going into the army.
Noch in de Krieg.
Nein, mitten in der Krieg.
No, not after the war, but during the war.
Oh,
Ja.
het is niet gewesen in Wetzlar.
Nein, in
So he wasn't in Wetzlar. No.
Marschenschule in Wetzland sind wir gewesen, Kiewska Oblast.
No, he was in Viersleblask.
Ich habe,
Kievsk, Blask.
ja.
Das ist wie? In Weißrussland?
Ja, oh,
Ah.
ja.
Was ist das Gericht jetzt? Weißrussland.
So that was in White Russia. He says, yes. And I said, what is this White Russia called now?
Dat is levend Ukraine. Niet waar.
And so I said, is that, what's called Ukraine now? And she said, not far.
Ja,
Okay, so ist gegangen zu Minsk.
ja. In Genève hat er nicht geschrieben, selbst hat er geschrieben. Also er ist in der Armee.
So at first, I got a letter from him saying that he was going into the army.
So schicken zu der Mama ein Parcel.
And that we should send a parcel to the mother.
In
Also,
Warschau.
ja, auf so einmal ja, geschickt.
She wanted to send a parcel to their mother, my grandmother, in Warsaw. And she says at one time a parcel was sent.
Gewoon, dat is gekend verkeerd. Genoeg wel gemaakt, dat is misschien meegeschieten.
And the response was that she wasn't able to make it there. And then afterwards, it was no longer possible to send anything into Warsaw. And then he stopped writing because he was in the army.
Ja, en zie ik met een kind. Moest ik wel met hier wie zijn die kinderen.
And he was together with his wife and child.
Ook niet kent was gevonden.
Oh, dus op een
And we couldn't find out what happened to them.
geweest, vriend. Dus meint je op een andere cousinke.
Oh, I didn't know about that before. This means that I have another cousin. And she replies, do I know?
Maar ze zijn dus, ik ga voor een andere cousin.
But it's true, I have another cousin.
Gedaan.
Ja, ook gaat wat gezegd, dat is geschreven.
Yes, but Chava wrote that.
Dus je kan pas gevonden. Wie is
That she couldn't find out where he was.
Cyrla Goldsheider-Friedman.
His wife was called Sarah.
De vrouw.
Ja, de vrouw.
Cyrla Goldsheider.
Ja.
En dit nummer van de kind wijst niet.
So the name of his wife, of Meyer's wife, was Cyrla Goldsheider. And my mother replies, yeah. And I said, well, and the kid, what about the kid's name? And she says she doesn't remember.
Sie hat kein Mensch geschrieben zu dir, du hast kein Mensch geschrieben zu sie.
So she never wrote to you, you only wrote to her?
Nou, ga wat geschreven.
Chava wrote, not her, but her sister Chava wrote.
Genoeg te wel. Als ze geschreven is, voor
And after the war, she wrote to a few places.
Dus vriendelijke dat Sarah met dat kind, dat Goldsheider.
To find them, the names. She gave, Sarah Goldsheider and all that, and the child.
Hij is er niet geweest. Nee.
But they were no longer there.
Okay, red nicht mehr.
Okay, so don't speak anymore. You're tired.
Ik heb het gezien.
Oh, ja. Wat gewollt zijn, zei
So I said, do you have anything to say to Sally? And she says, oh yes, I'd like to say to Sally.
Het krijgt een beetje. Je
Is
zei
dat
van.
erg bedoeld, ja?
Oh, sorry.
Ja.
Het ding, zei het ding.
Ja, zei dit.
Zei het ding.
So she says that he should put on some more weight and that he's very thin.
Rustig, ja. Essen.
Ja, ik wacht essen.
And she said, does he like to eat? And I say, yeah, he likes to eat.
Ja. Ik heb hem nog niet gezegd naar je.
Just don't give him a lot of, like junk food or candies.
Meer zaken te messen.
Ja,
More things to eat.
ik wacht naar je.
Ja, naar je.
And I said, well, he doesn't like, like junk food in any case.
Ja.
So we should not get him accustomed to eating junk food and candies.
Ik heb nog zacht te essen. De eerste zaak, ik heb hem een beetje te naschen.
So I give him a lot to eat, and I give him some snacks as well, but not a lot.
Nicht warm essen.
But not before eating. Snacks not before eating.
Het is lang gedaan. Het is al zeker in online. En dat is omteen, afsteken.
I did show you.
So you should teach him how to take care of himself, how to get dressed, how to get undressed.
Ja.
Ja.
And I said, yes, I've already taught him that.
En wegleggen.
To put things away in order.
Just like the niche.
And I said, that he doesn't like to do. That he should learn. So when I volunteered, I was teaching children for 6 years.
Staat aan, ja, ik weet. Wat ze doen is.
So I said to my father, I don't have 4 hands, I only have 2. We must have some help.
Ja, ja. Ja.
To clear up all the things.
Okay, gaat degene een beetje te drinken?
Should I give you something to drink?
Oh ja, du hast mir gesagt, dass sie gewesen faschistische Geschabers gemacht auf Theodor bei der Weltchrist.
So you told me that there was some fascist writing put on the building here at the Baycrest Jewish Home for the Aged.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Before the holiday. That's Pesach in this. I don't know which. No, maybe not Pesach. 4 or 5 days before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur in September. We saw new security around the building. More security. So we understood that there was some trouble being made because of the increased security. And there was a young lady there with a gun. And somebody else with a long stick or something. And they were walking back and forth. And they kept the doors locked. And only one door was left open. And when we came in, to the elevator, it was closed. And so all the glass doors were locked for a whole month.
Wij zijn zo gemacht een demonstratie in Montreal tegen de fascisten.
In Montreal, we had a demonstration against the fascists.
Inzes gewesen 1000 en zij is gewesen 3000.
And our counter-demonstration, anti-fascist counter-demonstration, was 1,000 people, and the fascists were 3.
Sick. Die zijn naar weggelaufen.
And they ran away. Yes, there was a demonstration, she says.
Tegen de fascisten.
against the fascists.
Als de fascisten und Gewalt machen etwas,
because the fascists were trying to do something,
hatten uns gesagt, nein,
and we said no,
lasst ihr nicht.
that we're not going to let them.
Faschisten sind der Rache.
Faschisten,
And she said, the fascists, the rich ones or
Nazis,
Ah, die Nazis, ja.
Nazis? Yes.
Also,
Azoi means, oh, in that way.
was sagt Nazis? Man,
And she said, were there a lot of Nazis?
ja.
30.
And so I told her, no, there were just 30. Not 3, as I mentioned previously. That was a mistake. So the 30 Nazis and 1,000 anti-Nazis.
30 Stück, 30 Menschen. No?
30 Menschen.
Oh,
30 people only? And she says, oh, in a pleasant way.
du mehr verhindert das so.
Du bist der Verhindert, ja. Aber dort hatten sie gerade mal, wenn sie dann weggeläuft.
So in Germany, in Europe, there were hundreds, of Nazis, but here, and I explained to her, I replied, yes, here the Nazis are afraid and they ran away.
Inständig bei 1000.
And we were 1,000.
The government hat das gesucht.
And did the government say anything about?
Und was machen Demonstration?
And the government let them have a demonstration?
Ja. Aber sie hatten geschickte Polizei.
Yes, the government let them have a demonstration, but they sent the police.
Sie halten Sachen mit den Nazis.
Oh,
Die Polizei sind dort gestanden, sie uns verblocken, nicht zu kehren.
So the government the police came to protect the Nazis, and they were blocking us from going any closer to the Nazis.
das war jetzt überhaupt.
Sie lassen die Nazis zu bleiben in der Platz.
So as to allow the Nazis to remain in place.
Sie sind gekommen und sind herumgegangen, die Polizei.
But we went around the police,
In so eine Meure.
and the Nazis were afraid.
Haben sie gesagt zu den Nazis, geh weg, wir gehen
So the police told the Nazis to leave.
weg mit der, wir gehen retten.
So the police went away with the Nazis and were protecting them.
Die Polizei gerettet die Nazis.
And so they saved the Nazis from us.
Sie haben weggeläuft.
And so the Nazis ran away,
Nein, mit der Polizei.
Heißt die Polizei
together with the police.
hat geholfen mit Zeit,
Ja.
mit den Nazis.
So the police were supporting the Nazis, she said.
Was hast du
Yes.
gemacht, die Polizei
Ja.
dort durch?
Ja.
Oi,
And she said the police were with them. And she said, oh my.
nicht schwer,
Nein.
nicht schwer.
That's difficult. That's difficult.
Ja. Die sind
Yes.
eine Gemeinde größer wie die Polizei.
But we were bigger. We were more powerful than the police.
Auch.
More powerful than the police, as well as being more powerful than the Nazis.
Eine Gemeinde, 100 Polizei in der Gemeinde.
There was only 100 police.
1000 von uns. Na, sag, wenn meine Freund hat gehabt Stecknis, ja?
And a lot of my friends had sticks.
So holzene, grobe holzene Stecknis.
Thick wooden sticks.
Also er hat sie weggeläuft.
And so they ran away.
Ja, sei das nicht an die Ups. Das ist rasikiert mit dem Kerl.
Nein. Sie will eine Sache jetzt.
I think she said something like, you have to be careful not to get your head hit. And I said, no, there were a lot of us.
Das kann einmal kriegen, die Schnur. Ja,
Sometimes you can get hurt.
gleich ist besser, wie jetzt kein sehr Wechsel machen. Wenn ich sehe, so kommen, dann sehe ich eine Klasse wie mir. Ich will kein dort, wenn ich eine Klasse wie sehe.
So, you know, we wanted them to run away. We wanted to be stronger than them.
Was ist das?
Mechanisch, sie kommen zu daheim.
She said, it's better to stay at home. And I said, no, we can't, because it'll come to your home.
Darf mit ihnen.
So we have to do what we were doing.
Wir bleiben daheim allein.
And not to remain at home alone.
Wie ist das doch so, denke ich.
Oh, no, das ist nicht. Die Nazis hatten gehabt eine Demonstration. Sie hatten gemacht, also wie sick heil und alles das.
So the Nazis had their demonstration. They made their sick heils, and Hitlerian salutes.
Aber gesagt, ich bin ganz der Polizei. Ich habe gesagt, du darfst nicht das lassen.
We told the police, you shouldn't allow this to happen.
Und sie gesagt, oh, wir können gut nicht stehen.
And the police said, no, we can't do anything.
Aber die stellten sich etwas bei voneinander.
Nein,
Ja,
alle zu nein. Alle zu nein.
Alle nein.
Ja, alle nein.
So you didn't do this all by yourself, did you? I said, no, we were all together. All together.
Ich halte das Speeches. Da muss ich sagen, Speeches.
It says you shouldn't make speeches. You shouldn't make speeches.
Es ist nicht gesagt Plätze, wie man kann halten Speeches. Es ist nicht so.
So she, I said to her, there's not much opportunity to make speeches, in a demonstration like that.
Ach, zu machen Speeches.
En we willen maar gaan leven, even.
And so she said, if you want to make a living, you can't do anything, like that.
Dat is mission to be zaken.
Not anything, but you can't do a lot of things like that. That's right. I've been unemployed for 36 years. Although, I've tried to apply for teaching in all the institutions and no answer from anybody. What you need is, you need to have your composure. You have to be quiet. You have to have, a secure life. You have to have a job. Eat and sleep.
Dat zou je niet zo. Dus ik heb just saying, just see what
And in that way you have a life, and you should seek not to tire yourself out too much with politics, she meant.
With politics.
My job is politics.
But I said, but my job is politics.
Ja, aber Geld ist nicht.
Yes, but you will not make a living from that.
Ich habe vorhin, jetzt gehe ich vorhin zu Ellie Kirsner.
No, I said, I'm going to call my comrade Ellie Kirsner. To speak with my Jewish friend.
Ja, dan in de school.
Nein, von der Now magazine.
She said, is she from school? I said, no, she's from the Now magazine. She was a political editor of Now magazine. That was a mass distribution journal in Toronto that was started by the Trotskyist youth, including Alice Klein and Michael Hollett, which adopted the policy of distribution of the journal for free, which was copied by all of the other mass circulation journals that started up in all the other cities, like Metro.
The Schrabe.
Schrabe.
So I said, Ellie Kirsner is a writer.
Was wissen, aber so war dann immer Bücher, so selber das zu vorne. Trinkt aus dem Ganzen.
So she was saying, so you should be writing books.
Noch
Das ist schon genug, ich will mal sagen.
I said, I have already written a lot.
ja.
And that's it. I think that's the end of the interview. That's the end of Cyrla Goldsheider. Okay. What else can I say? But my mother was, a Bundist worker who inspired me to rebuild the Bund, and inspired by the life of my parents who refused to go and become Zionists and engage in the massacre of the Palestinians. So that's what I started off with, and I've continued with, and will always continue to support the Palestinians in solidarity. The Jewish Bund, will exist to save the Jewish people, and it is becoming more and more known amongst the young Jewish people that Jewish liberation does not work with Zionism and the state. Jewish liberation only works with the liberation of all other oppressed minority nationalities, to abolish the nation states and to set up the federations until finally there is a federation of federations in general worldwide. Thanking you for your attention, and please circulate this piece of work. And let me find the stop button here. There it is. Okay. So this is again Dr. Abraheim Weizfeld, political scientist from the Université du Québec à Montréal.